Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. So, sorry, turning down my own personal headphones just a bit. Today is Monday. We will be doing the water signs readings today. I have backed off quite a bit on the astrology aspects of the readings as of late. There was a time where I was doing the astrology. Bye, Cadence. Sorry, that was my roommate. She is leaving for work. I wanted to say goodbye. But of course, I always put the timestamps down below. I'm going to be doing some crystal scrying after the general reading on the member side of the channel, and I'll be using this piece of Icelandic spar for that. So let's get started, because shuffling this deck is enormous. We're going to start with the water sign of Cancer. And Cancer, if you would like to just kind of consider what's going on in your life, what's going on around you, what you'd like to accomplish in the upcoming days and weeks and months. If you want to go ahead and set an intention for the reading, I invite you to do that now. And just kind of gently allow your thoughts to wander, allow a little free association to take place also, that you might consider different sides of some of these scenarios that are going on. And I'm just going to kind of put the cards together. So you can see this deck is enormous. This is one of yours. This one. Maybe some of these. This group. This one. So there's going to be some news coming in, and it could be written news. Let me put your timestamp here. 4 minutes. And let's see what's going on. There is a positive change of fortune with the Wheel of Fortune here. And I apologize, I do have the window open, so people are driving up and down the alley. Sorry. We have the bogeyman, the 10 of eyes, and the sun. Everything is getting ready to become almost perfect for you, Cancer. This bogeyman, all of the watching, the 10s are completions. So if you feel like there's been somebody watching you, for example, kind of over your shoulder, that's going to be coming to an end. That might have been something that was very distracting for you and was limiting your mobility in some ways, or your perceptions might have been that people were watching you and that making you paranoid. We have the Hierophant reversed. So rejecting things having to do with the status quo, but then we also have the devil coming out with that Hierophant in the reverse. So it could be that you're taking things a bit too far too. You want to make sure you're not getting stuck in old traditional ways just because that's what you know, but you also don't want to just throw all of that away and end up throwing out your morals in the process. We have two high priestesses coming out, one in the upright and one in the reverse. The high priestess in the reverse is very elegantly rendered here. The high priestess in the upright is skeletal, which is important to note because there might be aspects of transformation as you become privy to secrets, that there's a transformation that takes place. There might even be a secret that ends up being a little bit world-ending. And we also have the 8 of Pentacles showing up in the reverse. Oh, hi, Jared. I'm really sorry to hear that your parents kicked you out. I hope you have somewhere to go that's somewhat safe. This 8 of Pentacles in the reverse can be something that you've done for a very long time. A means of livelihood, perhaps. And because it's coming out in the reverse, you're going to be leaving that behind you, moving forward. You might be transitioning into something brand new. And I feel like it has to do with this high priestess energy. There's going to be some kind of revelation that opens a new door for you. And it might have to do with aspects of getting a bit lost. That because you have succumbed to some of these more primal urges and simultaneously cast aside some of your more moral stances, or cast aside some of your ethics in the process, perhaps as well, that new things have been revealed to you. It could be that you had deep-seated pragmatic beliefs, or they call it the pedagogy, I think, that you were approaching these things from this very rigorous standpoint that perhaps was not accurate to the reality of the situation. And so by releasing that, you're able to bring everything back around again. So this is going to be a positive change of fortune for you. And you will cast off that bogeyman of being observed and let go of some things like that. And then everything is going to turn out great for you, Cancer. So that is going to conclude the Cancer reading for this week. Although I have to say, that wasn't a very long reading. Oh, for the love of Christ. People are honking their horns outside. Sorry about that. Let's find out some more about some of these cards. What does this bogeyman represent, for example? Oh, and this news that's coming in. We'll find out about that too. Jared, I was born on the East Coast of the United States. Is that what you mean? So let's find out, Cancer, about the bogeyman. So this could be something that's coming up in your dreams also. Because I'm getting Father Sleep and the bogeyman here together, Cancer. Some of you could be haunted by nightmares, or that you process a lot of things through nightmares while you're asleep. What is this positive outcome here? The sun. What's going on with that? Let me get the sun and the Wheel of Fortune together, because these will be like similar things. Sun and the Wheel of Fortune. Let's see what we have here. Yeah, a couple of cards. So, two major arcana, which is the Moon and the Hanged Man. You can't really see how this ideal outcome is going to look from where you are right now, and you feel like it's been delayed. We do have the Publishing Goblin coming out in the reverse. I'm hearing something about a headhunter. So it could be that you're being scouted. And that's why things leading up to this transformation are so unclear, Cancer. But the Publishing Goblin in the reverse could be something to do with writing or publishing or putting something out there. Could even be that you've focused too much on putting things out there for other people and haven't focused enough on your own potentials. Let's find out some more about the letter. What is this news that's going to be coming in? I'll pull from here. I'll pull 3 cards about that. It could be very flowery. Could be very beautiful poetry. Could be a postcard. straight cutlass of fire. I think this one is like similar to the Ace of Swords or the Ace of Wands. So an active energy. It's got this cutout poetry all over it. And it also has this map here. So travel, moving. There's aspects of hunting to this card as well. It's this deer jawbone, it looks like. Straight cutlass of fire. The late sun hung vigorous with bees in its motionless yellow suit. A blinding something on the brink of burning home in the fields, trying to hold out long enough to feel beyond the ground as though the moon were an untouched growing child in the house. So it could also be another representation of the moon card. And there are a lot of things about this card that are somewhat hidden. So there's aspects of hunting. It could be the moon. It could have to do with the map, travel, the active energies there. I can't exactly tell what that is a map of. So I apologize that I'm not able to discern what is on the map. We also have the star and the queen. So there could be news coming through about wishes and dreams being fulfilled and coming into a position of power. Now, the queen has a lot of passive power. This could be similar to the empress, that it's the divine passive, waiting for things to be brought into you, but simultaneously hunting them. Aspects of it that are active, that are the hunting process, and then sitting back and being passive and waiting for that news to come to you. Let's find out more about this whole situation with the high priestesses. And first, let me make sure these situations are related to each other. So let me see. Are these situations, how are they related? Seven of Wands in the reverse. So that end of observation. Oh, I looked at that and I didn't show it off. Hi, Sailor Loon. Thank you for coming. I'm very glad you made the live stream. Also, I'm going to be doing them later in the evenings because I feel like people have the opportunity to tune in at that time. So this one, these two. Okay. So in relation to the high priestesses, one in the upright and one in the reverse, we have the Two of Wands and then we have the Three of Wands, and they're both coming out reversed. There's a lack of planning, and there's also then not a return on an investment, which is coming through in conjunction with this High Priestess, upright and reversed energy. Perhaps you're somebody who plans consistently. And you have quit putting so much work into the planning process of things. You'll see what that gets you. It's not going to get you what your previous results got you, or your previous work. That would make sense with the Eight of Pentacles too, that there's a way that you've been doing things, an operating procedure that you've had in place for a long time. Now, I do think that this is going to end up benefiting you because everything's going to turn out great. We even have the Sun card coming out again. And we have strength. Play to your strengths. So the Strength card, this is one of the figures in the major arcana of the tarot who gets their energy from source. That is depicted here through this tiny little lemniscate, which is very similar to what the magician has over his head. He receives energy from source as well. The High Priestess receives energy or reflects that energy from the moon. Very much the lunar energies. Strength is a solar card. We've had a lot of sun cards come out in this reading. So Cancer is lunar energy. And we're entering the colder part of the year, getting closer to the oppositional point of your sign as well. So these solar cards that we have coming out here, because strength is Leo's card, and that has to do with solar energies. Some of you could be cusp, you could have Leo rising, could even have a Mars in Leo or something like that. But overall, everything's going to turn out great. I think I've given you all of the information from the cards that will be required. So we'll move on now to the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio, Scorpio. We're getting ready to head into Scorpio season. Scorpio season. Turn that down. And turn this up. Oh, that's possible. It is a general reading, so I have to trust you to interpret it as is best for you. All right, so Scorpio. Sun, moon, rising. Anywhere else, maybe you have Scorpio in your chart. Maybe you're a cross watcher, watching Scorpios. I often have a lot of Scorpios around me. I'm a Leo, sun sign. think it's that fixed energy. I tend to get along pretty well with Scorpios. And so go ahead and just relax, Scorpio, and kind of think about what it is that you'd like to get out of the reading today, what you'd like to know. If you have very clear intention going into the reading today, or if you just kind of want to know what lies ahead. And just kind of mix all the cards together like so. All right, these will be mixed. Sorry, Scorpio. Sorry. Guys can talk amongst yourselves. I already had the Fool jump out at me. Okay. So, pull out some cards from here. And that's just Osito howling. He does that sometimes. He gets all howly, like, woo. Very spooky business. Okay, Scorpio. So, as I mentioned, I had the Fool card jump out. And the Fool, in this iteration, they have a mask on. They're listening to loud music inside this kind of helmet apparatus and dancing and flying through the air, which is pretty cool. But they're trusting all these people around them, their loyal fans, perhaps, to catch them when they fall. Hi, Ginger. Thank you for coming. It's very good to see you. We have Page of Cups. So that's an offer coming in of some kind. Probably a new offer. The Fool is very young energy. The Pages are very young energy also. I always forget what this word means. So we have the gloaming. I'm going to look that word up because, as I mentioned, I always forget what it means. It's when the light dims at the end of the day. So, like going into nighttime, twilight, dusk, that period of time. And we have this card showing up in the reverse. So, it could be that you're waiting for nightfall. You're waiting for the lights to go out. and that you're kind of in this perpetual state of waiting for the lights, for the sun to set, for dusk. We've got Six of Pentacles reversed. So what could be going on in your life right now is that more resources are being expended than are coming in. You could be borrowing money at this time. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes you have to spend money to make money. We have some wands coming out. We've got a Page of Wands. We also have the Queen of Wands. So there's a very enthusiastic, youthful kind of an energy. Page of Wands and Queen of Wands both have a very chill vibe. They're both passive energy and then compounded by that fire energy. So there's a lot of passion there. You could be, as a Scorpio, also dealing with a fire sign person. And this is kind of like a party atmosphere with the Page of Wands and the Queen of Wands coming out like this. Could also be a mother and a child. Could be someone in a relationship with an age gap. Doesn't necessarily have to be a huge age gap. And a casual kind of fling type relationship, not necessarily something very serious. Coming behind the Queen of Wands, we also have the Comforter. So because there's a similarity in their postures, right? Kind of like on the surface, this person's very brash, very bold, but deep inside, they're also very comforting to others. So these two are probably like aspects of the same person. And this person could be feminine or masculine. As I mentioned, the water element of the Queen is a passive energy, and women traditionally are raised to be the nurturers, but that isn't necessarily the case. And the pages are pretty androgynous. But Page of Wands energy can sometimes be about a passionate fling with somebody, or it could be enthusiasm about a particular project. But the pages don't necessarily have a lot of life experience to back that up. So we have False Devotion coming out. This is one of the variations on the Hermit card. This one, the Capuchin. The upright is actually Traitor. And then in the reverse, False Devotion, coming with the 10 of Cups. So, again, kind of like a fling energy that you're emotionally fulfilled. You don't necessarily need a lot of support from others. There can kind of be like these lies that we tell ourselves in relationships. And this doesn't just have to do with love relationships. It can also have to do with creative projects. And it can have to do with your friendships. Gosh, I wish I hadn't bumped my mic just then. I hope it wasn't too loud. This could also be like, a creative project dynamic. So a rock band, a musical project, an artistic endeavor, a stage performance, all kinds of things can be wrapped up in that kind of creativity. Could even be a tabletop RPG. And maybe this person ends up being your dungeon master or whatever. I don't know that much about it, but that's something that could be a possibility too. There's the Five of Cups reversed, and there's also the Empress reversed coming out with. So let's kind of put these together. The Five of Cups reversed. There might have been something that you were disappointed about, and it ended up being a happy accident instead of being overly disappointing. And I think this has to do with throughout a certain situation, kind of, we have this way of projecting things onto others, and we can kind of like make them into whatever we want them to be, right? So with that Ten of Cups and the false devotion reversed, I think that might have been a situation that was going on. And you don't have to be disappointed anymore when you realize that you're like projecting things onto other people. And with that, we have the Empress and the tradition in the reverse. So this card, the tradition, as number 5, could be similar to the Hierophant for sure. And this is probably about casting off traditional gender roles. In reference to the Empress's work as the mother, the divine mother. So there might be aspects of gender roles tied up in that, and that could go either way, toward the opposing ends of the gender spectrum. But that maybe there were traditionally certain roles held by certain members of the family that were passed down. Like if this was something that was passed down matrilineally, maybe there comes a point where it's passed down to somebody who wasn't born into the matrilineal line. So that could be somebody transitioning, that could be somebody adopted, that could be somebody coming in from a different family, or even somebody who isn't necessarily adopted but is like taken in by that family in an emotional way, because that would also go in with this. There's definitely like a deep emotional satisfaction, so that implies to me that there's a building of community that isn't necessarily tied up in that false devotion. False devotion, when we realize that for what it is, that's what gets rid of that disappointment in others. Things are being reflected in a topsy-turvy way right now. So not even necessarily that things are overly unclear, but rather that because of the way that things are being projected outward, they're somewhat distorted in the translation. Something about this is leading to a lack of rest. So Nine of Swords is more like the nightmares and things that keep you up at night, but Four of Swords in the reverse is like working too much. Or having to do too much, such that you're not able to get proper rest, like being very busy. So there's like things that are inaccurately projected that are leading to a lot of busy work in a certain situation. We have the Fountain, And this is a really beautiful card. I wonder what deck this is from. I'm sure I can figure it out. The fountain is a renewing spring. It could be very much like the Ace of Cups, right? So there's a renewal there. We had this end of the one cycle with the 10 of Cups. Now we've got this new cycle beginning with the fountain. And the fountain flows infinitely. The water goes down into the base and comes back out. Sometimes fountains can go dry. Sometimes people empty them out for cleaning or for other reasons. And a fountain can run dry if all the water evaporates, depending on climate and other factors. But especially mystical, magical fountains of source, such as this one, flow eternal. We never have to worry about the source running out. But there's a couple of kind of confusing cards here at the end. We have this guy, Misero, who is not very much like the Fool, is he? This guy's all happy and excited. He's not much like this guy either. This guy is obviously well kempt. His robes are clean. His hair is combed and trimmed. This guy could be very young, in fact. Could be very young or could be very old. But that's not what is important. What is important is that he has never had the advantages that others have had. There might be cases in your life, Scorpio, where that's true. You might not have a lot of savings. We've got the Four of Pentacles coming out in the reverse. We don't have the Five of Pentacles here. We don't have a lot of the other cards that can be indicators of scarcity mentality. Along with this renewal is going to come that Page of Cups offer. I just realized I put those two cards together. And we have the Temperance card showing up in the reverse as the final card to go with Misero and the Four of Pentacles reversed. So we have that Six of Pentacles reversed. We have the Four of Pentacles reversed. It seems like for some of you, Scorpio, you have not had financial backing. Not that you are incapable or that you have not, like you might not have had similar advantages to other people, that's for sure. And it looks like you're capable of making money. It's just that it's very difficult because you have come from a place, for whatever reason, where you didn't have the support systems behind you. Does that gloaming fit in? So, sometimes in the Temperance card, you can see that the sun is in a transitional state, I believe, which would be coming up towards night. It seems like you don't have a lot of time for the things that you enjoy. And so that time in the evening might be the time that you get to work on your own pursuits. So let's see what I want to find out for Scorpio, we are going into this new beginning with the Fool. So I think a lot of this disadvantage in this situation is going to fall by the wayside. And a part of it is changing your schedule some way. Because that gloaming is like waiting, always waiting for that period of time at nightfall. Is it about changing the schedule? Possibly. There is this new offer that's going to come in. I think that's going to be like a big crux of it. Because of all of this busyness and things not being accurately portrayed. And so that leading to a lot of this busyness. And look at the ways that you still identify with this energy, even if you're no longer in this place. Jared, I'm glad that it helped you decide. And I hope that everything works out the way that you need it to. That is going to conclude the Scorpio reading for this week. This week. So now I'm going to move on and do Hi M. Thank you for coming. I'm going to move on and do the Pisces reading. And Pisces, if you would like, just kind of relax. Oh yeah, I think I saw the Instagram, Ginger, for your band. Aren't you guys based out of Long Beach or something like that? It looks like you know how to have a good time. All right. So, for Pisces, just kind of relax, spread out on your bed if you like. Sit down in a nice chair and relax. And kind of think about what it is that you'd like to find out about in the reading. Oh, right on. And so let's find out what's going on with Pisces. Pull all the way to here, but then put some of these cards back. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1. And these 3. Okay. Got it. Okay, Pisces. So let's see. Write down the timestamp. Oh, Sailor Loon, it's my pleasure. Thank you for watching. Okay. So we got some aces reversed. And a lot of wands coming out right in the beginning. Excuse me. Yeah, let me talk about, we've got wands and cups kicking us off. So that's like a lot of not just emotional energy, but passion energy too. What does that mean? So the wands are like our potency, our sex drive, can be creative energies as well. We do have the two of cups coming out in the reverse. So you and another person might be parting ways. And the way that I see this going down is like there's a lack of planning. You're just like not on the same page emotionally. It's kind of a non starter. We have the Ace of Wands coming out reversed. So there's like a lack of passion and a lack of emotional support, an emotional beginning in this relationship. And that's just going to cause things to fall apart, but not necessarily in a very spectacular way. More like it looks like this guy is doing a weenie roast to heaven, right? Oh, that's okay, Em. I think I have it set up so that subtitles will come on. But I don't know if that helps. But there might be a party involved. You might even be planning something with this person, like a weenie roast or a barbecue. I guess they call it barbecue, right? Who calls it a weenie roast? You might be trying to plan something with this person, and neither one of you are really putting your heart into it. And so, because of that, there's going to be kind of an ending in that relationship, whether it's a friendship or a love partnership or something like that. Both of you just kind of realize, Pisces, that it's not as exciting for the other person as it is, or you're like not even that excited about it. So, whatever that is, we have the Empress coming out in the reverse. And this Empress, I've seen this Empress come out in the reverse like a few times in readings. And it's kind of like, a lot of people dote on their cats. My mother is one of these people who believes that cats are the divine sent here for us to worship. And so she has all these little rituals that she does with the cat. The cat comes to expect these things. So when I see this card, I think about how cats who are cared for by humans come to expect certain things. And so that, because it's a passive energy, and the Empress is somebody who's weighted on hand and foot, there is a fertility to it. There is a creativity to that. But when it comes out reversed like this, Pisces, you are not getting the treatment perhaps that you believe you deserve. You feel like you deserve, and you've stuck it out. We have the 8, the Strength card here. Here it is. Endurance, waiting. Oh yeah, I love cats too. Some of my friends have cats. And again, some of these nocturnal energies for the water signs coming out. Not much of a surprise there. We have the night owl. So there could be certain things that are going on during the nighttime hours. Night owls are predators who hunt under the cover of night. Cats sometimes hunt under the cover of night, but can hunt during the daytime too. And night owls are wild animals. Some of them can be domesticated, but typically they're out taking care of themselves. Yeah, there's a lot of completions here in the early part of this reading for you, Pisces. So scheduling might be what ends up being the dividing line for this. That that you choose to do activities more at night, and so the things that you are setting up, you're going to be taking a more active part in. This might have been something that was more like just kind of a fun idea, but it was something to build upon too. But not waiting for things to come to you. Strength card there. The night owl. I feel like with this too, Pisces, not everybody can do what you do. It's not just about the strength, it's about the particular energy that you bring to it. There's a hunter energy. We have the World card in the upright, and then we have the 10 of Attention in reverse. And the 10 of Attention is all about getting canceled. So this card being in the reverse, you could be going viral for all the right reasons. And that's bringing something to an end for you. You could also be stepping away from the public eye. So that's another possibility, especially if previously you had a lot going on in the public eye. That World card is going to bring all of that to resolution. And this is quite a momentous change because remember I was talking about like all these aces and this 2 and this 8 of weenie roast or whatever. These are very like cards about beginnings, right? This is early on in the process. So now we see that we're coming to the end of some particular cycle, probably having to do with the way that you plan things that you want to do. We have the 4 of Wands upright and the 4 of Pentacles reversed. So more active energies coming to the forefront, which it seems like that is what is needed from you right now, Pisces, is more action. And that 4 of Pentacles in the reverse, paired with that 4 of Wands, you could be putting savings into purchasing property. You could be putting your savings into building something or establishing something at this time. And this is going to lead to greater wealth. We have the So I consider this to be like the mellified man card, and he's surrounded by bells, or they are surrounded by bells. They look rather androgynous. The way that the perspective is done on this card is so wacky. It's really hard to tell exactly what's going on with that figure in the middle. Likewise, we have these 7 bells, the 7 voices surrounding the figure, the incantations that make the mellification process effective. And these alchemists who are dressed a little bit like demons down at the bottom. Now, there's like that saying, kill them with kindness. In this particular case, I think you've been talking too nicely to people. You've been maybe too afraid of hurting people's feelings. And it's leading to a certain amount of self-sacrifice that is unnecessary. But we do have the star card here, which is one of your neighboring signs. It's Aquarius's card. So some of you could be on the cusp. But more importantly, the star also has social aspects to it. So the 2 of these cards, or the 3 of these cards altogether, I feel like at this time you're bringing in your hopes and dreams and navigating social groups by cutting off negative attacks online, and also by maybe not mincing words too much with other people, not being so sweet and accommodating for others that you're compromising your own visions. We have the Fool card coming out with the ducky here on the hill. That duck has a leak. You know what that means. So a new beginning, but we see that new beginning coming in already because we're between an old cycle and a new cycle. We have this runic card, which is about daytime, and that's showing up in the reverse. And that's reinforcing kind of the night owl card, that maybe you like for things to be a little bit obscure and unclear. After all, the moon is Pisces card in the major arcana for 1, and for 2, it's not even here. Yeah, not here at all. We do have the Builder. This card reminds me of that movie Mad God a little bit. But the Builder here could be you, Pisces, that you become the orchestrator of all of these things that you want to have move forward. And I think it starts here by pouring this savings into a particular project. That is going to be what has the payoff that you're looking for. There's a business partnership potential here. And this may or may not be with the person from the past. This is probably going to be purely business, but also might have to do with, so this being like the accordion card, it's kind of like an ace. It has to do with music, could have to do with busking, could have to do with taking musical gigs. It could have to do with other kinds of performance, the performative aspects. Accordion is an instrument that you can kind of just throw into the mix. It's very portable, but it also brings a full sound. So the accordion being something that can be used in a wide variety of different settings. I've seen it used in all kinds of different music. But of course, it's best known for certain types like polka. So we've got this Queen of Swords here coming out at the end, Pisces, in the reverse. And the Queen of Swords in the reverse can be kind of a harsh energy to deal with. This can be somebody who's manipulative. It can be somebody who really doesn't have the best of intentions for anybody but themselves. We have frost in the reverse. So frost is something that warns of colder weather. It can create issues when it builds up on different things like metal. When it makes metal cold, it can cause things to seize up. And we have that in the reverse here. So things thawing. So then the final card here is the Wheel of Fortune reversed. I think that right now, what is going to cause fortune to change for the better is thawing out this Queen of Swords energy. That could be somebody that you're working with, could be a business partner, could be a potential business partner. And I think that thawing them out, your typical approach might not be effective for this, Pisces. Like what we were talking about with the mellified man. If this person sees you as being a little bit spineless, they're not going to respect you enough to want to work with you or to think that they can work with you, maybe. They want to see that you can go the distance. They want to see your fortitude in situations. They might have seen some of the things that you've done before, but really, with these cards about night and the day in the reverse, that perhaps either you work at night or that the less this person knows about your resume going into your working relationship, the better. Both of those things could be the case. And finally, where did I put that card? Okay, so there's also aspects of this where they're going to want, in this previous situation that didn't work out, they're going to want to see you be the bigger person in that also. Whew. All right, so that is going to conclude the water sign readings for this week. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for your support. I'm going to go now over to the member side of the channel and do some crystal scrying using this chunk of Icelandic spar. And then throughout the week, do check out the community post about how I'm going to be doing some live streams throughout the week. And those will be occurring probably after I do the members live streams. So it'll be like the tarot reading and then the member live stream. And then I'll do either dream interpretation or I will do a Q&A. And it can just be like a really quick live stream video, or it can be a lot longer, depending on how much people interact with the video. Alright, so that is going to conclude the readings for this week. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much to everyone who comes and watches, either while I am streaming or after the fact. It's so good to see all of you here. And until we meet again, I look forward to seeing you very soon.